This conference will now be recorded.
Hello. Now I am audible, ma? Okay. Okay, just a second. Again, you check one more time. I'll switch over to headphone. Okay, so today we have a session for system hacking. So we have to hack the system. So before we hack, whatever I taught you in the last class, malware threat, like creating through virus maker tools, or else you have to start writing the code and targeting the system. So that and all will be having some different concept, but that is one of the major concept whenever you start working on hacking your system, that play a big role. Okay, so now the system hacking in our practical lab, we will use Kali Linux and Metasploitable machine for hacking purpose. Okay, and malware threat to test how does it works, how does it affects in the real time. Okay, that and all the last two classes you all seen, and also you have done some practicals. But the next concept is, when before we start system hacking, so try to understand what exactly the meaning of system hacking, and which are the tools we are going to introducing in this concept. Okay, and what those how does it works and what it is, that and all we will be discussing in this class today. Okay, so here we have the definition part, or we can generally, if I wanted to define system hacking. Okay, so system hacking, so this is the process of trying to compromise the target system with the help of information we collect from the pre-attack phases, just like whatever we have done, like what is that, footprinting, and as well as scanning and vulnerabilities, so on so on. Actually, this is a general simple how we can define the system hacking. What is system hacking? So system hacking is the process of compromising the target system, and with the help of the informations what we collected from the pre-attack phases, like footprinting and as well as scanning. So, but we need a tool. Assume like we got some major informations, but we need to have some tools. Then with the help of tools only I can achieve this hacking our system. So there is a tool in Kali Linux operating system. So the tool name is called as Metasploit. Metasploit. So Metasploit, it's a tool, or I can name it as it is a framework. Metasploit. It's a framework. Why do we used for developing and executing exploit code against a remote target machine. So Metasploit framework, MF Metasploit framework, which contains the following modules. So the modules like number one, we have exploits. Then number two, we have payloads. Number three, auxiliaries. Number four, we have encoders. Then five, we have a post. Then number six, we have a knobs. So these are the modules. Metasploit, it's a framework. So it's a it's a kind of a software. Okay, but we used to name this as framework. This is used for developing and also executing exploits against on the target machines by make use of exploits, payload, auxiliaries, encoders, knobs, post, so on so on. And within this software, we have some components, major components. So components of the Metasploit. So saying that the number one, MSF console. So MSF console. Number two, MSF Venom. Then number three, Armitage. So these are the three major components of the Metasploit framework. Now the question is, as per the modules, sir, still I did not understand what exactly the meaning of exploit. So when you have these questions in your mind, so assumes exploit can help you to get the gain super level or super user level access. I can name this as administrator level access. Whenever hack your system or hacked your system, you need to have a administrator privileges to access all the resources of your computers. So it's called as super user level access. So this is one of the module, as I said in this Metasploit. This is help you to get super level users or super users level access to the target computer systems. People are going to make use of this exploit. Then hackers manage to gain low level access. Then they'll be trying to uh, escalate the privileges to highest level. Highest level is nothing but according to Linux, if I want to say root account. Then according to Windows operating system, if I want to say it is an administrator account. So privileges, escalate the privileges to highest level. Most of the times hackers manage to gain low level access, then they'll be trying to escalate the higher privileges or highest level. So exploit becomes unusable once the vulnerability is fixed through a patch. So until that you can make use of the computer system, but once they find the particular vulnerability and they find that exact solution, or if they have done with the patches, if they have updated with the highest security level, then the vulnerability is, if that not working, then your exploit is becoming unusable. I hope all of you understood. So exploits can help to gain super user level access to a computer system. Hackers manage to gain low level access, then they try to escalate privileges to the highest level, like root. So one of the important thing is the exploit become becomes unusable once the vulnerability is fixed through a patch. So exploits can be classified them depends upon the depends upon the category. Okay, exploits are classified based on how the exploit communicate with vulnerable softwares. Okay, vulnerable softwares, if you have, based on that we can classify them. So like I can name this as uh, okay, so here will be writing exploits. We have two types here. One is remote exploits and one is local exploits. If I take remote exploits, so here I can name them as server side remote exploits, and we have one more called as client side exploits. Next one we have a local one, so client side exploits and also server side exploits. So this is based on how the exploits are going to be communicated with vulnerable software. So based on this, which can be classified them. Might have a question, sir. What about the remote exploits? So remote exploits works over the network. So remote itself is answering you required network. Okay, so it works over the network and exploits the security vulnerability without any prior access to the vulnerable system. Next, we have a local exploits. Local exploits requires prior access to the vulnerable system and escalate the privileges to the person running the exploits. Okay, so these are the two things required. One is remote exploits and one is local exploits. Next module, I can name this as payload. So payload, it's a piece of code. If I want to say payload, it's a piece of code and piece of code within the exploit. Okay, so it's a piece of code within the exploits which are going to perform the malicious actions. So the malicious actions like deleting data, then providing remote connections, sending spam, okay, encrypting data. These are the malicious actions. To perform malicious actions, then what is required within the exploit? Payload is required. So payload, it's a this is the uh, piece of code in the exploits which performs the malicious actions. That is your deleting data, providing the remote connections, sending spam, or encrypting data. And we have a different types of payload also. We can name it as types of payload. So within the Metasploit framework has three different types of payload. Number one, singles. Number two, stages. Number three, stages. So these are the three types of payloads. Singles are the self-contained payloads. They perform a simple task like adding user account to the computer system and running executable files in the victim computers. And these kinds of payload can be a caught uh, with non-metasploit handlers such as NetCat, that is one of the tools, so on and so on. These payloads are more stable and also they contain everything in one. So that is called as single payload. So single payload, self-contained payload, which are going to perform only the simple task, just like adding user account within the victim machines or target computer system and running executable files in the targeted computer systems. So these kinds of payload, uh, what I can say, more stable because they contains everything in one. That is called as singles. Next we have a stagers payload. So stagers are used to set up a network connections between the attacker and victim. Okay, the stage is nothing but there will be a two person. Okay, one side attacker and another side victim. So if you want to have a connections between attacker and victim, then what is required? Stagers payload is required. So which are used to set up the network connections between these two machines, attacker and victim, and which are going to provide remote connections to execute the commands, which are those stages. Okay, and it is difficult to do both of these well, like multiple similar stages. Metasploit will use the stages to create a buffer memory in a small portions of memory, but these stages are responsible for downloading large payload, injecting into the memory, and passing the execution into the computer system, which are called as stages. So in simple method, if I want to say, stages payloads are used to set up the network connections between the attacker and victim machines, and which are going to providing the network remote connections to execute the commands, and which are difficulty to run both of these, and similar multiple similar stages, like whatever I said the result. Okay, the multiple metasploitable will use the stages to create buffer memory in a smaller portions of the memory. Okay, metasploit will use the stages to create buffer memory in a smaller portions of the memory, but these stages are responsible for downloading large payload, like the stage. Okay, then injecting into the memory. Next we have a stages payload. So stages payload are the component of that stages, whatever previous one I have. Okay, that are downloaded in the exploited PC by the stagers. Whatever stagers, uh, what I can say, the by the stagers, by the stagers, the computer system, which will have one of the component of the stage, and the various payloads stages provide advanced features which is having no size limits, such as like meter preter, VNC injections, that and all comes in the advanced level. Okay, so if I want to have consecutive, what is that, to maintain our hacked system or maintain access every time, then people will use meter preter. So which will happen by happened by these stages, or whatever three types of payloads whatever I explained you, like singles payload, stages payload, and stages payload. Is it clear? And when I talk about escalate privileges, escalating privileges, escalating privileges, it's a technique to exploit existing vulnerabilities in the design, misconfigurations in an operating system, or in installed applications to gain elevate access to the computer systems that are usually protected by the applications or users, which is called as escalate privileges. Then vertical privilege escalations, the attacker gains, or he's trying to himself to get the higher privileges. Then privileges escalations is typically achieved by the performing the kernel level operations. Kernel level is nothing but where the main admin level, like, so that allows that attackers to run unauthorized code. Okay, those are called as vertical privileges escalations. And one more is only that escalate privileges, and that uses exploit uses or existing vulnerabilities in the design to misconfigurations in an operating system, or in any installed applications to gain elevate access to the resources that are protected from the applications or users. If that any computer system is protected, no problem. But if they attacked, they or uh, try to access that privileges by using this escalate privilege mechanism. It's a technique, okay. And one more, as I said, vertical privileges. Vertical privilege escalations, it's a the attacker grants himself higher privileges the moment if we attack and gaining that higher level as an administrator. Those are called as vertical privilege escalations. Then privilege escalations, it's typically achieved by performing kernel level operations. Means accessing all areas or major area of the operating system, okay, that allows that attackers to run unauthorized code. Okay, he can do a lot of things, lot of changes in the vertical escalations. And next we have one more called as horizontal privilege escalations. Horizontal privilege escalations, nothing but the attackers use the same level of privileges what he already has been granted. But what I can say, assumes that identity of another user with similar privileges. Hope all of you understood. Like the identity of another user with the similar privileges is called as horizontal privilege escalations. If that understood, you type as yes in the chat box. So in this concept, I explained about what is system hacking, the general definitions or meaning. Then which tool I will be using, Metasploit. Then what is Metasploit and what it contains. Then what are the components of the Metasploit and what is exploit. Then what is payload, how many types of payload we have. Then escalate privileges, vertical privilege escalations and horizontal privilege escalations. These are the simple topics, but it's most important for system hacking. Okay, if that understood, you type as yes in the chat box area. Yuvraj, Ashika, Aditya, Yukta, Netravati, Gurujish, Diba, Faraz. What happened, Yuvraj? I didn't see you for the yesterday's class. Faraj, you not attended. Yuvraj, you not attended. Okay, okay. Okay, I got a question. Someone is saying that, sir, make this simplified. So whatever explained, it is too simple itself. Okay, once again, I will try to explain this. Uh, Metasploit framework, as I said, it is a one of the tool, and I can name this as the open source penetration testing framework. Okay, it is the open source penetration testing framework widely used by the cybersecurity professionals, ethical hackers, then security research people, like whatever I said, like security professionals, cyber security professionals, ethical hackers, security researchers. The people will use this open source penetration testing. The name that as Metasploit framework. Okay, this tool contains libraries and also modules for developing, testing, and executing exploits against on the computer systems to identify and also fix the security vulnerability. This is the main purpose of Metasploit framework. I hope all of you understood. Metasploit framework, open source. It is a open source penetration testing framework widely used by professionals, cybersecurity professionals, ethical hackers, security researchers, and this tool contains libraries and modules for developing, testing, and also executing that exploits against on the computer system to identify and also fix the security vulnerabilities, and which will have some features like Metasploit features, which we have exploits, payload, and also auxiliaries, then meterpreter, so on and so on. Okay, so exploitations framework, it's a huge collections. It's a pre-written exploits for known vulnerabilities. Imagine any operating Windows operating system, whatever, okay, applications and services. For known vulnerabilities, there is a pre-written exploits which has a huge collections. Metasploit framework, exploitation framework which provides high collections of pre-written exploits for known vulnerabilities. Okay, cvedetails.com, whatever I said. So like that, there are so many popular vulnerabilities if they have. So this tool is going to provide the collections or pre-written exploits for operating system, applications, and as well as services. That is your exploitations framework. And one more, as I said, it is payload. So payload, after exploiting the system, payloads are used to perform an actions on the target system. Okay, so what you wanted to do? Okay, so creating a remote shell, adding user account, downloading files, running script, whatever what you wanted to run. So that you make use of payloads. And as I said, there will be a three types of payload. Then one number one is singles, number two is stages, number three is stages. So singles, self-contained, so do only one job and exit. Singles are going to perform only one job and automatically that are going to exist. Then next we have stages, as I said, is going to set up the communication channel uh, between the attackers and as well as vulnerable machines. And next we have a stages delivered via stages. for advanced actions. That is your stages. Okay, that is a simple word, and how I can optimized. And we have one more, as I said, it is auxiliary modules. So auxiliary modules, here is the auxiliary modules. You have exploit payloads, and one more is auxiliaries. In this auxiliaries, for scanning purpose, sniffing purpose, DDoS attack purpose, and other tasks, so do not require full exploitations, so that you can use it in the auxiliaries. So in the metasploit itself, I can run scanning also, and I can run sniffing also, but you must know about complete area of the metasploit, then only you can do it, but do not require full exploitations to perform these tasks. That is your auxiliaries. So next you have, like as I said, post exploitations, like escalate privileges, and tools are going to be gather some informations and pivot into the networks, capture the credentials, so on and so on. Then meterpreter, one more word or one more key features, as I said, it is a powerful payload meterpreter that is going to give the attackers a stealthy interactive shell, or I can name it as maintain access. Like it's similar like file transfer, key logging, then webcam controlling. So how I can able to gain the access every time it is meterpreter. So how this is going to be used, I have a questions, like, or if you ask, sir, how this is metasploit is used, so how I can use this metasploit. Number one, penetration testing. Number two, vulnerability research. Number three, security training purpose, and red team operations. So these are the four areas how I can make use of this metasploit. Number one, writing here itself, how metasploit is used. Penetration testing, then vulnerability research, security training, then red team operations. Penetration testing, it's like simulating the attacks to find and fix vulnerabilities before malicious hackers exploit them, is called as penetration testing. The keywords, the key meaning is important. People will ask you what is penetration testing, but you try to explain that in proper way, or try to understand to explain them. So it is simulating attacks to find and fix vulnerabilities. So if you have to find the vulnerabilities, and also you have to fix the vulnerabilities, and simulating the attacks, and also before malicious hackers exploit them. This is called as penetration testing. So there will be a different certificate penetration testing, active directory penetration testing, or penetration, network penetrations. Okay, so application penetration. So like that, they will be getting lot of penetration testing concepts. But this is the one standard one what I'm going to explaining you. people where people will make use of this exploit framework tool. And even I can use it for vulnerability research. As I said, testing new exploits and payloads in the controlled environment. So this is your vulnerability research. So in the interview, or might be the people who are working around this Metasploit tool, they'll be keep on asking in the blog or somewhere in the online meeting, vulnerability research, how I can make use of this Metasploit tool. This for testing the new exploits and also payload in the control environment. That is only one sentence is enough to understand that. Next we have a security. Next we have a security training. So teaching students and also professionals about that real world attack methods in the training, security training. Next we have a red team operations, helping the organization test and also improve their security defenses. This called as red team operations. Is it clear? So if that understood, you type as yes before I move to the next concept, like a component of Metasploit. Good, Ujesh. What about others? Adiba, Yuvraj, Ashika, Faraz, Netra, Yukta, Nakshatra, Kartika. Good. Hi Monica, what happened so late?
Sir,
What happened so late? You joined for the class?
sir, phone display was broke, sir. I was little facing issue. Then I log in from my father's phone, sir.
Okay, okay, fine, no problem. You put me in such case, you put me in the WhatsApp group, okay?
Ah, okay, sir.
Whatever issues you have, that you what is that word? Send a message, no problem, okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
See. Okay, so we have components, as I said, Metasploit components. Already I listed here itself. So number one, MSF console. MSF console, it's a command line interface. Okay, just I'm giving you that definition part. Okay, whenever you open in the real time environment, you remember MSF console, which will always will have a command line interface. So not a graphical user interface. If you wanted to communicate with MSF console, or if you wanted to know about operations of MSF console, so you must know the some of the command lines. So that's why you here, this is command line interface, which contains command line interfaces most commonly used. Even for next our practical also, we will use MSF console, but it is a command line interface itself. Okay. Next we have MSF Venom. MSF Venom, it's a tool for creating custom payloads, and shell codes. Okay. So apart from any the existing vulnerabilities, exploits, if you like to create your own custom payloads, then you have to use MSF Venom. MSF Venom, which has some set of interfaces to create a payloads, and they can make use for shell code and creating your own custom payloads. Next, Armitage. Armitage, it's a GUI, graphical user interface, front end. Okay, so now it's a less commonly used but still available. Please remember, here it is. Now it is less commonly used but still available. And one more, as I said, modules that earlier we discussed, right? Like exploits, payloads, auxiliaries, post. So these are called as modules. This is also one of the component. This is organized into categories like exploits, then payloads, then auxiliaries, then post, etc. So in short form, Metasploit is like a Swiss Army knife for ethical hackers. Just I'm giving you that one short form definitions. Metasploit is like a Swiss Army knife for ethical hackers. It is one of the most powerful tool for penetration testing. Please remember, this is one of the most powerful tool for penetration testing. So don't get again confusion. What is penetration testing? So penetration testing is nothing but simulating attacks to find and fix the vulnerabilities before malicious hackers exploit them. It is called as penetration testing. Metasploit, one of the most powerful tool for penetration testing, but it must be used legally and also ethically. Understand, right? It must be used for legally and ethically. Only the systems you have permission to test. Please remember, only the systems you have permission to test. Hope all of you understood. Metasploit is like a Swiss Army knife for ethical hackers. Once again, I will be repeating. One of the most powerful tool for penetration testing. This is used legally and ethically only on the systems you have permission to test. Without permission, if you try to test, it will become illegal. So this is the important thing. Okay, in our lab, we will try to work on VMware, that you can see. 1 minute, I'll be sharing the screen. So in this example, I'll be using Kali Linux and also Metasploit. So use Kali and also Metasploit. But for today's class, I will show you the introduction part of MSF console. Then in the next class, I will show you how to hack Metasploit machine. So that I will show you whatever that explanation of the theory today what I've covered. Based on that, I'll make you to understand exploits, how to maintain the access, that and all. So this is the last stage of your ethical hacking. Like what I can say, uh, in the first second class or third class, I told you how to hack the machine. Okay, and there will be a phases, as I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hacking the machine, maintaining the access, and clearly we have to delete all our tracks or logs which is created. This is the what I can say, final stage of our hacking system. System hacking is our last and final stage. Then enter machine user Kali. Open terminal. Okay, so someone is asking, sir, how to open. MSF console. MSF console, and press enter key. Make ensure is that loading or not. Once it is loaded, here you can see what is the number of exploits you have. So version to version, it's keep on changing. So in this machine, 2023, whatever I gave you, so which contain 2376 exploits. But 2025 Kali Linux, if you download, maybe some 100 plus exploits also available, like 2400, 2500, so on and so on. Okay, as I said in the theory part, metasploit, which contains the modules like exploit is one of the module, auxiliary is one of the module, host one of the module, payloads, encoders, knobs, and then evasions. So these are all modules, as I said. Please remember, and also you can open your website like docs.metasploit.com. If you open, you can get to know about complete documentation area, and press enter key, and this is the documentation. So whatever I explained, I simplified here, but if you have a free time, just you go through it and understand by make use of my theory class notes. Okay, and how it's working, all the requirement informations you have here itself. Just you click and understand how it's going to be performing, right? And also metasploit development and how you can do that also, which is given in this document. Okay, and remove this docs and remove, and you enter only metasploit.com, and here you can see, as I told you, it is a open source metasploit framework that you can download it, and it works for 30 days trial. And you have one more for commercial. So this is for penetration testing. Again, I'm repeating this: penetration testing. So metasploit framework, and here you have some of the demo, so on and so on. If you have free time, just you go through this and understand. Just I'm giving you this link within the console. Okay, and if you scroll up, you can see this is the command. Okay, to open metasploit framework, msf console. Msf console, this is one of the component. I told you meterpreter is one of the component, armitage is one of the component, msf console is one of the component. Okay, so metasploit tips, which has a R host. Look at this. R host means a remote host. L host means local host. So that we will see in the practically when you are attacking the machine. Okay, and hope you understood what I was explaining in the beginning. Okay, like what is the number of exploits you have in this area, like metasploit 6.3 versions, and what is the number of auxiliaries, then number of post, number of payloads, encoders, knobs, evasions, so on so on. So to clear this, you type clear itself and press enter key. It's gone. And make ensure are you in this prompt. So if you opened metasploit framework, you have a prompt here. See the prompt. Prompt is msf6, the version you what you have. Then type exit. If I type exit, you will be coming out from this msf. And again, if you want to open, type msf console and press enter key. Then you will get in the same prompt. So once msf console metasploit framework is opened, then you will get MSF6 prompt. So this is a simple way, and whenever you try to open, so some of the image, look at this, some of the images, line images keep on changing. Okay, it's not a standard one, it's always changing. This is the basic. How to open Metasploit framework, then how to exit. Okay, so type exit itself to come out from the prompt itself. Okay, next I wanted to test the communication between Metasploit and Metasploitable machine. So how do I do within the same prompt? So we'll try to understand what is the IP is allocated for this. So type clear, then you type IP space address, sorry, and this is my IP address 192.168.122.32. This is my IP, and am I having same network that we will see in this Metasploitable MSF admin, MSF admin, enter. IP address, and I can have same network 192.168.122.179. This is 32. Then start pinging, ping space 192.168.122. Check what IP I have. 179. 170. Sorry. Yes, 179.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Your screen is not visible.
Oh,
Yeah, thank.
okay. Sorry for the mistake. The moment the moment if you press enter key, which is showing I'm have a communication between these two machine. Again, just you close. Okay, I'll be repeating once again because lost that connections. Okay, so once if it is logged in successfully, you type IP space address and make ensure what IP you have 192.168.122.179. 179, this is your Metasploitable machine IP address, and from this again you type IP space address, press enter key. In this machine I have this IP address, so I wanted to test the communication between Kali and Metasploitable. You type same IP. The targeted IP is 122.179. Suppose tomorrow if I connect some other internet, then I'll be having some other IP address. But still, which I will be in 192.168 same network only. 192.168, but the next third field will be changing. Then fourth field is also keep on changing. Then press enter key. Then check what is the network you have communications. So this is a basic requirement. Uh, so this is without any prompt of your Metasploitable framework. So to open, how do I open this Metasploit framework? So what you have to do is type clear, and you type msf console and press enter key. It started, and look at this, the number of exploits, x number of auxiliaries, then post. This is the numbers. Okay, what is the number of exploits you have, number of auxiliaries you have, number of posts you have, number of payloads you have, then encoders you have, then knobs you have, so on so on. Okay, and as I said, it is a command line interface. So it is a command line interface, not GUI interface. Armitage, it is a GUI interface, but it is outdated, no one is using. But for testing purpose you can use it, okay, but it's not recommended one. So then you scroll up and you can see what is the command you have used to get into the prompt. But once it is opened, then this is the output where which prompt you are in, what prompt you are in. Okay, so right now I'm in MSF 6, and this is the version, what the versions you are using for Metasploit. So 6.3, and you type, suppose if you wanted to come out from this prompt, then you type exit. So type exit and press enter key, then you come back, which means it's revert to Kali prompt. Okay, and again you type msf console itself and press enter key, and see these are the runnable modules. Okay, in the theory part, whatever I said, exploits, auxiliaries, post, these are the modules, and this is the one of the component. Okay, so like msf console, this is one of the component. Okay, so from here if I wanted to ping, so type ping, then you might be asking, sir, I wanted to ping only for 2 times. Okay, so only for 2 times if you want to ping, then you type -c space 2. So count 2. Okay, I wanted to have only 2 times. Then type your targeted IP 192.168, and what was that IP 122.172.179. Is it correct? 179. Yes, it's correct. So then you press enter key, and I'll be getting only 2 times replay. Could you say this? So, but it is possible within this prompt. Which prompt I'm in? I'm in the MSF prompt. MSF, my sorry, Metasploit framework. Okay, so next I wanted to list the ports, open ports which are available. Then what is a nmap command what I was using earlier. So here also I can use nmap space -s, small letter s, capital letter S. Then am I correct whatever I am typing? 192.168.122.179, and press enter key. And asking for root privileges. In such case you have to type sudo nmap -s, small letter capital letter S, then target IP 122.179. Press enter and type password Kali itself, and is listed what is our open ports of the metasploitable. Last time we have listed FTP port number, SMTP, so on, which are open ports. Even I can go for service informations. The port number, if I take 667, I wanted to see IRC informations. Then how do I check IRC informations? So you have to type along with this nmap hyphen s, small letter s, capital letter S. Then you have to use small letter s and capital letter V, means versions. Then what is the port number you are targeted? Hyphen P. So P for port number, hyphen P. Then port number 6667. 6667. Make ensure whatever I am typing is correct or not. Then targeted IP 192.168.122.179, and press enter key. I'm looking for much more information about that each port area. Okay, so press enter key. Okay, again asking sudo nmap hyphen s, capital letter S, hyphen s, capital letter V, then hyphen P, 6667 space 192.168.122.179, and press enter. And this is the informations. See this, the what versions which are running. So state is open, service IRC, but version I got Unreal IRCD. Okay, then this is the MAC address which is on VMware, and service informations, so on so on, irc.metasploitable.lan. This is the service informations, and service is detected performed, so on so on. Okay, this is how I can get some more informations in this MSF 6. Is it clear? And if I want to know about operating system details, so what is the command? Nmap hyphen o, operating system details 192.168.122.179. The same command I'm repeating, whatever I taught you in the beginning. So I'm making you to understand the same commands is that able to run in the MSF console or not. So beautifully it's running, and also directly you can inside this MSF console you can use this nmap commands. So look at this, what is the operating system details you have here. So in the targeted, so this is the basic requirement. Now I wanted to search for what is a version I got here. The version is Unreal IRCD. Okay, how do I get to know about much more informations in the search area? Okay, you type search, then the command is Unreal IRC. Unreal IRC. Press enter key. And look at this. What is the rank status you have? The rank is saying excellent. Excellent. In this Metasploit, it's saying excellent means 9 point more than 8 CVSS score. in the vulnerability research I taught you the excellent high end CVSS4. So this is our exploit. Okay, and I can make use of this backdoor, and we will try to hack our machine. So before you start hacking, whatever commands I given here, the same commands you start and practice once. Then from here onwards, I will try to tell you how to hack the machine by make use of this exploit. So you must have some hands-on, so basic hands-on. So try to work on this area and get to know about this complete informations. And you check each one of the port area, the list of exploits is that available or not. But in this machine I got unreal ircd, the backdoor executions is available, and disclosure date also available, and a ranking state is also available, that you can check. Okay, and when it comes to this area, this is what you can match and get the informations. And look at this, you can use this for Unix operating system, like whatever I'm using, this is the one. Okay, and it is interact with the modules by an index. Okay, so in the next upcoming class we will see how to, from here onwards, how to get into the PC. Clear, right? I will show you how to make use of this exploit and how to hack this. So this is the one exploit I have in this machine, in the targeted, and this is the command I've used to search, and to get this port number IRC, and I have done this nmap operating system details, and as well as port scan and version details also. So like one by one, if you start doing, then you comes to know that vulnerability. Make use of this vulnerability. So actually it's a virus. Okay, please remember, it is a piece of code, vulnerability. And by make use of this metasploitable tool, so we are targeting this machine, and testing, penetration testing we are conducting. Hope all of you understood. If that understood, you type as yes in the chat box. Sorry. Was missed. Mm, Aditya absent, right? Aditya, yes, she's absent. Okay, in Friday's class, I will show you how to hack the machine. So whatever I today's I gave, it's a foundation. So we will try to work. We'll start from the same area. So how to scan the ports and how to get the information. Okay. So in the beginning, whatever I taught you, so go through that and try to practice the same commands. It's okay. Maximum it takes 5 minutes, and that only 5 minutes is enough for the entire concept, 1.5 hour concept, whatever I explained. But understand the theory. Without understanding the theory, if you do, then it is everything will be wasting. So please remember and practice. In the 28th, we'll have a same session. Okay. So we'll meet you in the next class. So see you guys, and while practicing, if you're getting any doubts, just you ping me in the WhatsApp. Okay. See you all.